Oh, that was awesome.
That was really cool. I like the end of that. That was awesome.
Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Welcome to Galaxy Jams, live from the Starfire Studios. I'm your host, Mike Mahgerefteh. We got Mr. EJ Toudt on the bass. We got Mr. Tomas on the keyboard. So sorry. And we got Mr. Nate Sachs on the guitar. We are so happy that you guys are here. We hope that you can check us out anywhere, but if you watch us on Twitch, that's where you get the very, very best sound quality. Also, if you really want to connect with us, make sure to go on the Facebook fan club. Just go onto Facebook and type in Galaxy Jams fan club. That's like the best way to get in touch with us and stuff like that. Also, we're really trying to hit 1,000 followers on TikTok so we can stream there. So be sure to go there. And lastly, if you want an entire, like what we just played and everything we're about to do, if you want to see an entire archive of it, make sure to go check us out on YouTube. We're so happy that you guys are here with us. So how's everyone been?
Hey, I'm doing good.
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
All right.
That's cool. You know, like what I was doing when I was driving home today was listening to music in my car, and my favorite thing to listen to is Spotify. You know, actually, like I used to be like a big Pandora guy, and that's how I found like Humphreys McGee and like a lot of other really awesome bands like 15 years ago.
I used to be a big LimeWire guy.
Oh my God, like I used to
Computer
brick my
AIDS.
yeah.
LimeWire.
It's so crazy how far music has come, and it kind of freaks me out because like I feel like everything's being like consolidated, and it's kind of like it's so weird because before you'd get music from like all those different places. I mean, I guess before it was all like the record labels, right? So everything was consolidated into the big record labels, and then when MySpace came out, it was kind of like, you know, anyone, you know, that was when anyone in their bedroom could make good music, you know, breakthrough, right?
Good old Tom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still his friend. I still watch him.
You know, I still have a profile on there. I looked the other day. Have you guys looked?
Really?
I haven't looked in a while.
They haven't gotten rid of it.
Am I still in your top 10 friends?
No, not.
Oh, you guys knew each other when you were using MySpace, right?
No, we didn't.
No,
that was I wish.
Yeah. So, you know, the thing is that is like when you have like a lot of artists under your alley, like Spotify, you know, there's a lot of responsibility from coming from that because people really look at your platform, right, in terms of things. And so I know that everyone, if you guys have been looking and seeing what's going on with Joe Rogan and Spotify, and I just wanted your take on like really the whole entire thing because I think it's really indicative of a larger issue, if you will, of like, you know, how can like one platform that's housing so many different voices make all of those voices happy, right? So what do you think about it, Nate?
Well, first of all, the Spotify splits and royalties are garbage.
It is, yeah.
That's where you got to start with the whole thing because, you know, it has been like 0.0002 or whatever it is. Like maybe we should look it up, but it's pretty low.
It's low. Wow.
I saw this thing that somebody posted that they split a song 3 ways with their band, and the song's actually gotten a lot of plays, but they did the math on it, and because of the way they split it, 100 million plays on Spotify was like $6,000.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's crazy.
For a songwriter and like a collective songwriter split, you know?
That's crazy.
And things like that are just very alarming. But the Spotify thing with Neil Young is like more about misinformation too. Right. And like, you know, the access to it that, you know, Facebook has a lot of misinformation, so why not Spotify now with every podcast is on there and a lot of different characters.
There he is.
But
Neil Young.
yeah, and Neil Young was rocking in the free world, and now his music's basically free for people that use Spotify. You
basically,
know? I mean, you're not getting him much when you listen to it, but he has like 9 million listeners on Spotify. His current account.
Is that a lot?
Which is not a lot.
No, it's not. But you know, there's not a lot of people that listen to his music that listen to Spotify.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of older people. Like I can't get my father-in-law to do Spotify. Mm-hmm. He won't do it. He loves categorizing his CDs and putting them into his computer, into his iPod. He's there at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, he won't do it.
My dad does Spotify. He's a cool dad.
A lot of people that won't do it. That's cool.
Your dad takes you surfing, right?
Oh yeah,
that's as cool as it gets.
We used to. We still go surfing sometimes, but yeah, back to the surfing of the internet with our streaming. I use Spotify too. I like the format, and I know this sounds terrible because I just talked about all the things
Yeah, I love it too.
that are wrong with it, but it's such a great format.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you all the insights to your artist profile.
Yep.
It shows, these great insights at the end of the year, and I think that's really where they have us. But and back before Spotify, it was actually harder to get your music to everyone's ears, right?
Yeah, you couldn't even get it on Pandora. I remember trying to get music on Pandora,
yeah.
and it was like they're
They're
you must kiss
gatekeeping
our
it.
glass
It's a
feet."
hassle. You have to like email them and like get approval and all. You
And
have
it
to
never
send
happens.
a form, a submission form.
So for Spotify, how do you you get a song on there, right? How do you engage the algorithm to get it like in front of people? Is there-
Playlisting.
Yeah, you have to get on playlists. Isn't that
Yeah.
the whole game?
Yeah, and now so there's all these review sites or like online publications, and they have their own playlists.
Oh.
So there are some startup PR firms that do like pay to play stuff, like pay us $150 and you can get your song reviewed on this website and playlisted on these things. So there's a service that people are doing now to get you more plays on your Spotify.
Oh, interesting.
All these things
I'm
stack
sure.
up. All these things stack up. Like I've been releasing music, I'll call it naked for a couple of years. Independent, but not even just that. Like I just do it, through word of mouth, through Facebook, Instagram, not much PR. And now I'm starting to work with a group called Little Star PR, and they're helping me with one of my projects. And I already noticed that they've done some work for me that I couldn't do.
Right.
Really?
Like what?
They got me on, like I said, where our song is going to be premiered on a big publications page. So they're going to premiere our song. This is for Shotgun Honey by The Righteous Few. And they're going to play our song on their SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever
Right.
3 days before we release it for their fans.
Right.
And it's going to be on their playlist too, I guess.
Very cool.
So it's funny we're talking about this because I've been working on a couple of avenues to help with all that. So
I just think that Kai, what were you
That
gonna
was
say?
just super interesting because
Yeah, it
I've
is.
always wondered how to do that, and I'm planning on releasing music in the future, and I'm just like absorbing this. So
yeah, and a lot of these PR companies are actually reaching out to artists because they're often headed by people that are in bands themselves. And they realize, they can help others while also navigating the industry for themselves. So yeah, it is really interesting.
Right now when I look on Facebook, it says that Fish only has 683,000 followers, but they're one of the biggest bands ever, right? Like ever. They sell out stadiums, and it's just so weird. I was talking to you about this earlier, EJ, I think, about how you can have someone that has 3 million likes on Facebook, and when they go to play a show, nobody goes to see them. And then you have a band like Fish. I mean, I'm not saying 683,000 is a small amount, but what I'm saying is in the grand scheme of things, it's absolutely abysmally tiny. But then they can sell out, the biggest arenas in the world, many, many times over. And it's just so weird. And another thing I want to notice also is that when bands put out their one sheets, right? I'm noticing it's a new trend that they put all their Spotify and Bandcamp and other metrics, which never really came into play before. And so I just think it's so interesting, all the different, what's really real and what's not, what metrics really matter. And sometimes they matter, and sometimes the same metrics don't matter for someone else.
Yeah.
It's just so a lot.
It has to do with your content too, though. You can't just you can put in a bunch of BS stuff that is quote unquote bad, which is hard to say what's bad, but and you can get a certain amount out of that by paying for it, out of the algorithm and out of a good business model and social media model. But at the end of the day, people are going to realize it's shit at some point.
And not only that, I think bands like Fish, they're selling a live experience too.
That's true too.
Yeah, because I hear that, and I've actually never even been to a Fish show, but everybody's told me they're I love going to them because it's a complete experience, and more so than just
It's a
listening.
religion.
It seems like it.
Plus, Fish is more counterculture based too. So
Yeah.
and a lot of their audience, Fish's heyday was the 90s, and they're getting older. So a lot of them are on Facebook, but a lot of the counterculture, I mean, there's just a vast amount of Fish fans that are not fucking with any of that.
They're not
Like,
even.
you
They're
know,
not on Facebook.
like
or
social
anything like
media
that.
in
Yeah.
general, I guess. So it's an interesting example of Fish, but because their Facebook likes don't add up to their prowess, at all.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Let's look at the chat really quick. We want to thank you guys so much. We can see every single thing that you guys are saying.
On every channel.
Yeah, on every channel. So
All at once.
always tell us what you guys are thinking. We always want to talk to you. Tara Michelle says, y'all sound great. Thank you so much. I saw, Tara, you said that our microphones weren't working. So one thing is when we're jamming, the microphones that we're talking to you right now, only we can hear it. And so when we're actually playing music and we're talking in the microphone, we're doing it the only we can hear it and that you guys can't. So we can...
We're giving each other some cues.
Yeah, we're giving
too.
each other cues, feedback, or just having a conversation about our day.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, hey, should we stop soon? And then Nate's always like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, no, keep it rolling.
Skyland Hoekstra says, y'all sounding fire. I
As
thought that was a
always.
hand.
Yeah, they looks
Fire.
like it looks
yeah,
like
it looks
crowns.
like a hand, right?
It is fire. It's fire.
Yeah, fire as always. Thank you so much, Skyland.
Thank you.
Brian Loper says, LimeWire for the win. I mean, I don't like my computer either, Brian.
LimeWire.
No, I will give it
throw the
all
whole
of the
computer away.
diseases.
I'm a masochist. I use LimeWire. I just downloaded Fish's version of Gin and Juice, which wasn't a thing, by the way. When you were on LimeWire, I don't know if you remember, but they'd have a bunch of mislabeled shit.
Oh, definitely.
So you'd be like,
That's so funny.
it would be like the song "Stuck in the Middle with You." It's kind of old. Stuck
Yeah.
in the middle with you. It would say like "Stuck in the middle with you," Bob Dylan.
Right.
Oh my
And
God.
it's like obviously not Bob Dylan, but somebody who uploaded it thought it
Surprise,
was.
it's
Or
a
maybe
virus.
they did it just so they could spread their Trojan.
I
The
did
Trojan
a
horse.
little, I did a little bit of piracy, but not too much. We got other people on the chat. Go ahead and read some more there, Michael.
Sure. The Chronic Improv says, I disagree with how Spotify compensates artists, but I support their decision not to censor Joe Rogan, who in my experience is more objective than nearly any journalist under a publisher. I think that
I
they
agree with
paid
that.
so much
I do too.
money. They paid so much money to Joe Rogan. There's no way that they're going to
Neil is
stop
gonna- no.
him, you know?
I mean, and we're going back to this conversation, I guess, because we read that, and we didn't really span the whole thing of it. I agree that Neil Young can do whatever he wants with his music.
Me
Yep.
too.
I'm not sure if it was his publicist's idea to like stir some shit up to get some news coverage. That might have been the play. That's what I think.
I
But
think I agree with you. And the reason why I agree with you, Nate, is because literally, like, okay, so he announced that he was doing that. And then, like, 2 days later, Radio XM or one of those
XM
big,
Radio?
yeah,
Sirius?
XM Sirius, right, announced like a whole Neil Young like channel.
Right.
And you don't just do that in a day. That's like
No.
a whole thing you got to produce. So there's
I mean,
no
he was
way.
like, fuck y'all, Spotify, I'm out of here.
He definitely has
check
way
out my
more.
channel on Sirius
He
XM.
has so many eyes on him now. So I mean,
Yeah.
whatever it was a good play.
I mean,
if it was a play.
Yeah, I think that the publicity itself. I mean, Taylor Swift for a while was banning, boycotting Spotify, and even the Beatles. I think the
For a long
publisher,
time, yeah.
they wouldn't put their stuff on Spotify
Oh, really?
either. I think what everybody realized is that if you're a big fish, Spotify is great actually.
Mm-hmm.
If you're small guys like us, it's great on one level, but the flip side of it is we don't get as much money and we don't get as much attention as somebody who's got a whole A&R, label behind them and everything.
Right.
Right.
I think that on Spotify, the thing that's good for artists like us is that it's easily accessible by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So when we do tell people about it and they choose not to listen to it, at least they had access to
They
it.
choose not
And you,
to listen.
and you
to
said
it.
Pandora was like not like that, right? It was just hard.
Pandora, I tried to get on Pandora with like the Kill Circus music and some other groups.
It was
that
a
were
tough
in, and
thing to break through.
It was literally
into.
like, please let me on there. Just let us have a channel. And it's just like nothing, no silence, nothing came back. And I probably put it through probably about like maybe 15 to 20 times, never got anything on there. And we weren't bad. So
No, I thought that band was awesome. Y'all should check it out.
the Kill Circuit.
The Kill
on
Circuit.
Spotify.
They're like what alt rock, alt prog rock,
I'd
On
say like
Spotify.
more, kind of our own thing. You'll see.
their own thing.
There's-
Check it out.
Heavy
Kill Circuit.
music, but melodic. Let's go.
Hey, what else
go
is on
ahead.
the chat?
Well, let me go back to the thing because we were just talking about it, and there were some people who followed him.
Yeah, there was a bit
Joni
more.
Mitchell, of course,
Oh, wow,
kind of in
okay.
the same thing.
There's a few
Nils
more
Lofgren.
recently.
I don't really know who that is, but he looks familiar.
He was with Bruce Springsteen.
Okay. I'm
He
sensing.
pulled like 27 years of music. Yes, they're a lot older people.
That
Yeah, I
sounds
was-
way more dramatic than it should be. He pulled
Right.
27 years
27 years of
Of
Nils
hard
Lofgren
work.
music.
off of the platform.
Yeah,
I mean, now he just has to sell it all as an NFT. You know,
that's right.
the big move. I got my Neil
Brene
Young
Brown.
NFT yesterday, man. It's a Harvest Moon monkey.
That's a whole nother subject. Yeah, Brene Brown, who is she has podcasts on there. Wendy Zuckerman and Blythe.
So these are
Terrell.
people that have taken their stuff down as well, or
Yeah, they've
okay.
taken it down as well. Yeah.
Well, here's a question that I really have for you guys. And it's not really a question, I guess it's more of an observation, which is like, so people are saying that Joe Rogan, because he's having people that are, saying things that they don't agree with coronavirus, and they're saying that he's perpetuating coronavirus, right, which is causing danger to society. That's essentially what it is, right?
Well,
I
just
mean, that's a
spreading
little
false-
extreme,
they're
but
saying
yeah.
basically spreading false information.
He's
Yeah,
right.
providing a platform for
Right,
for
exactly,
people who have
which is-
alternate views of.
It was the whole
false information.
the ivermectin thing.
It
was
wasn't.
what
It wasn't the ivermectin. I thought it was that too.
you thought it was.
Oh,
that?
he had a guy on.
He had a
who-
guy on there that was like he was part of the original research for the mRNA vaccine.
Okay.
And the views of that dude are like vastly different now that he's been a part of that research, and so he's kind of counter-vaccine, even though he was like a part of the vaccine thing. And a lot of other doctors chimed in and said that it's well known that dude doesn't know what he's talking. He's like went down a rabbit
It's like
hole.
the
or something.
pandemic people.
Whenever
that,
anyone talks, there's other people that chime in.
Yeah. And I mean, Joe Rogan has literally every single person you can think on that show, from the left to the
Yeah.
right to whoever. So he's not like promoting personally where he's like, yeah, that's totally true. He just gave that person a platform.
he's inquisitive.
But when you're that big though, and you give anyone a platform, you can't just say like, oh, like I don't know what I'm
for
doing.
sure.
I'm just having
For sure.
voices. I'm just
I don't know
having
if
opinions.
I don't know if you guys saw it today, but Spotify is now doing a thing, and Joe Rogan made like his apology or whatever. But they're doing a thing where if it has anything to do with anything COVID, they're going to put like a warning in the beginning. So they're not censoring anybody.
like on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, they're
where they
gonna-
have
No
the-
one's gonna
yeah.
pay attention to it.
Yeah, they're going to be like, this may have like whatever, kind of like what Facebook does.
So what I'm saying though is that how is that not okay? But someone like Michael Travis. Well, Chris Brown did beat up someone,
You
but
mean
there's so
Mike-
many.
You mean Travis Scott?
Yeah, Travis Scott. Oh my God, I'm killing it with
Yeah.
the names. Like I literally feel like every name that I've said this entire time has been wrong.
I feel like I'm having a conversation with like a gumball machine. like,
Oh my God, that's so funny. No, but what I'm saying is didn't he like have a show where some people were saying that he was directly responsible with some unfortunate souls who perished in the pit? So how is like him still being on the platform when he actually did allegedly directly lead to people dying? However, Joe Rogan, who's having someone in, I just don't get it. I feel like there's with music such a big double standard. Everyone's like,
well, Spotify's not doing either of those people. Like, they're not getting rid of either of those people, and I honestly respect that part.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
They're not going to say, "Oh, all this stuff happened to Travis Scott or R. Kelly or whatever. Their music's invalid now." That's just not how it works. Like, I mean, Michael Jackson had all this shit against him for a long, long time until his death. I mean, everybody thinks they know something about him, or there's all sorts of stories, and his music is timeless.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like besides like a direct call for specific violence, then if you can't just like take down every person that's disagreeable on the platform because
Yeah.
no one will be there.
We got some more chat. We have. Let's see.
I think we need to listen to more Gigi Allen on Spotify.
G.G. Allen. Have you ever seen that movie? It's phenomenal.
Oh, is it about him?
It's his. Yes, you
Oh.
haven't seen that.
No, but I want to
Like
watch that.
those poopy people.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
he was
no, it's-
insane.
God.
Dude, the best thing on it. It's really disturbing and gross. He's disgusting. And yes, he is metal as fuck. The Chronic Improv. I appreciate that.
He was terrible.
He was terrible. His music was awful. Anyway, but there was there was this one scene where he's like playing, and this guy, like kind of weird dude dressed in like a white jumpsuit, just kind of start sneaking up to him while he's playing. And G.G. Allen's completely naked, right?
Yeah, I think I've seen this clip.
And he just keeps kind of getting closer and closer, and all of a sudden he just puts his fingers up G.G. Allen's butt. And G.G. Allen kind of looks back at him at first, and then he's like, whatever, and he does the rest of the show with his finger up G.G. Allen's butt.
What?
Yeah. it's the weirdest.
Well, that was like Mac DeMarco did something. He put a microphone up his butt.
Chronic
like, upside
Improv,
down.
what is the name of that G.G. Allen documentary? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Put that up in the chat. I can't remember the name of it right
Yeah,
now. I can find it. But
I mean, if you can listen to G.G. Allen's music on Spotify, you should be able to listen to anything at that point.
So
and then somebody said, would you perform on the Joe Rogan Experience if invited? Yes.
yes,
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I would
yes.
I would smoke DMT with him in an isolation tank.
While playing.
While
While doing kettlebells.
I definitely
and then
would.
eat like venison.
It's elk.
If you
Yeah.
do one show
Elk.
on there with him, if he shows one of your songs, then you could tour and pay for your life for the rest of your life just
Maybe.
on him.
Pretty
doing it.
much.
He doesn't do a lot of music. I mean,
He doesn't.
he's had musicians, but
Lots
they're
of
usually
musicians,
like
but they don't play.
Telling crazy stories.
they're usually successful in other ways too, or they
Yeah.
have another angle.
They're more interesting than just being like a guy that plays
Yeah,
out.
he'd have like Tom York on there or something.
Right.
But I don't know if he has. But maybe Tom York hates Joe Rogan.
It
You know?
could. WonderMut007 said, yes, Travis Scott, going back to what Mike was saying, should be held liable for Astroworld.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's like I don't even want to have that conversation on this show just because it's so serious and that was a crazy thing. But it just goes to show that like there's all these festivals out there like the Fire Fest and everything
Right.
like that, and you put yourself into something like that.
Oh
like
my
you,
God,
You
the
buy
Fire
the
Fest?
ticket, you go, and then like everything else is left up to like the infrastructure of the festival
Yeah.
or the show, and the whole Travis Scott thing was just a nightmare infrastructure wise. So that's as far as I even want to say anything about it, guys.
The Fire Fest one was horrible.
Yeah.
Not as bad, obvious as what you're talking
Yeah, I
about.
mean, Ja Rule's still out on the streets, man.
Yeah, how is he still?
Ja
how
Rule's
is he still around?
People are listening to his Spotify. You know, he does have some bangers though.
Ja Rule.
He just
Ja Rule.
rolled out with everybody's money.
That's funny. All right, guys. Do you want to play some more music? Let's get into it.
I would
Let's do
love
it.
that.
Let's do
Let's
it.
go ahead and do that. Awesome. That was great. Look at that chat, man. Lit up.
Chat is lit.
Nick Kins, get it, boys.
Thank you.
I keep messing with my setup over here, and I think it's getting worse.
Yeah, just you're all cockeyed.
I was like back. I was like sitting in the bed, like laying on my seat for a second. It was great. I'll figure it out by episode 10. Let's say.
What else we got going in the chat?
Hey, thanks for everybody tuning into Galaxy Jams live from Starfire Studios. We love every single one of you. And we got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to be talking about some other things like tips for up-and-coming bands. We're going to talk about some of our favorite concerts.
That's right.
Also want to talk about checking out our catalog of past shows on YouTube. Make sure you guys do that.
Please do.
Check us out on Twitch that has the best audio. And make sure you guys follow on there. And you can follow on Twitch. Get your friends to follow on Twitch. And what this is going to do is also help us bring you more options for Twitch as well, which should be a lot of fun. We got a lot of plans for that. A lot of emoticons, a lot of things with lights and everything else. But we got to get a bunch of followers on there to make it worth the while. And you guys can help us do that. Also, if you're on Facebook, join our Galaxy Jams Facebook group. All you have to do is check it out on Facebook. Just look up groups, Galaxy Jams, and you're good to go. And finally, we are trying to get 1,000 followers on TikTok so we can stream on there. So we do appreciate it if you would do that as well.
I feel like we need to make a TikTok. You know, if we're gonna get people on TikTok,
We have
gotta
one.
Make one.
Oh, yeah,
no,
we
I
gotta
mean we gotta make a
TikToks.
TikTok. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it should be like one of the really, really popular ones. Like that's
You have to do a
fresh,
trend.
a
Yeah.
trend, but it's Mike doing it. You know, and
How about
it's-
eating cheese with no shirt on?
It's not like that
Let's
kind of a
go.
trend.
Oh.
It's like
I just want to see
TikTok
that.
has its own world.
I
of
feel like we
trends.
need to explain TikTok to EJ. Should
What,
we do it?
is it like? Do I have to
Does
go
it
to
has-
Walmart?
Does it
and
have to
slap
do with
people?
clocks?
And yeah,
I know what TikTok is. I might be old, but I know.
It's like Vine, but shittier.
Because basically, you know, if we find a trending audio and get Mike to lip sync it and like
Right.
put some makeup on him or something,
We could do that. He likes
you
wearing
know,
wigs.
get him to
Yeah.
look like a real TikTok.
I do that
bitch,
anyway.
you know?
I didn't know I could get.
Mike,
famous
yeah,
for
he
doing
could
that.
he could make a lot of money doing that instead of doing
Getting
it
ready to cancel somebody.
instead of doing it in your bathroom.
I mean, I feel like that should be Mike's like stripper name too, TikTok
TikTok
in the future.
is porn
He
name.
said
I feel like that's a futuristic
TikTok time is
stripper
money.
name.
People be yelling it like Bing
TikTok time is money. Your dance,
Bing
TikTok.
bong.
TikTok.
your dance is over, Joe Byron. All right.
Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for some snacks.
It's a snack attack. Snack attack.
Candy.
It's a snack attack. Snack attack.
Tasty.
It's a snack attack. Snack attack.
My tummy hurts.
Oh no.
It's a snack attack. Snack attack.
So Nate, I gotta ask you because I have that same pedal. When you did the "oh no" part, is that on the Barry White setting?
Yeah, the Barry White.
I was going
Good
through
old
the
Barry
sounds
White.
last night and I heard it
Good
and I was
old
like, that is
Barry
the
White.
same sound.
Yep, that's the sound. I
funny.
do that. I use that live sometimes and just confuse people when I do Lowrider by War. But anyways, we're in snack time, baby. Snack
is.
attack.
Take me.
We gotta get some snacks.
Today, it's we're doing gummies, but I'm doing sort of a specific kind of gummy first, which is a cola flavored gummy.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola flavor, so soda, cola flavored.
RC Cola.
Basically, let me get my guitar off first to do the snacks.
Get your guitar off. Careful. Careful now.
Headphones.
Don't
fall
screenshot
off.
that.
It's so funny how that guitar like literally matches this room perfectly.
It matches our whole setup on there.
Our motif.
Matches your shirt
It does match your shirt.
and your hat.
All
Like,
right,
what are you
guys.
doing?
They go on each side of your
Oh
head.
look, he's got orange in his hat, just like in his strap.
All right, guys. Here we go. Nate's
So
snacks
coordinated.
snack attack. So, the gummies today are cola flavored, and I've got some weird ones.
Excited.
Excited for gummies.
All right, here we go. So first, just start it off like with a bang.
Not weed gummies, Austin Hughes.
Yeah. Next time we're doing weed gummies. Actually, yeah. At some point we We should do weed gummies, I think. Thank you for the idea.
We should
Austin.
do it and then like do like an 8-hour.
Look at
jam.
this, guys. It's a full-sized gummy cola bottle.
It is. Look at that.
How are we going to eat this?
I thought you just deep throat it.
I was
Yeah,
about to
Mike's
say
going to deep throat
seductively.
it for TikTok. I've got this knife, okay? So I'm going to open this very, it says sealed for your protection. So I got this at, I think, I want to say Five Below,
Five Below.
which is a great store. A Nate Snacks favorite.
They have lots of other snacks.
They have tons, and they have like weird, they have weird premiere stuff that you can't find anywhere else. Like this gummy soda bottle that is huge. Look at,
Oh my God, you could slap someone.
look
with
at that.
That'd be a massive
Slap that in my face.
slap to
I
the
want you-
face.
Who wants to get slapped with that in
Here.
the chat?
Slap my arm with
It's
it.
a tad bit phallic.
I feel bad cutting this thing up too. You know, it's,
Are you gonna cut it
I mean,
like
we-
in the
Nate,
long
yeah.
ways or
Nate,
short ways?
I think I'm gonna give it a bris.
Nate, you should
know?
slap your arm with it before.
a
you do it.
ceremonial bris.
Here's
So
gotta
oldie
hear
but
it.
goodie. It's the Wayne Bobbitt moment.
I should have done that on camera. Actually, it's just hard to get like
A good
I feel
leverage.
unsafe.
Yeah, just be careful.
I'm gonna do it on my leg. How about that?
Pierce Clayton says, "Slap me, snack daddy."
All right, that's for Kai.
Great. I got the cap.
There's like a piece of plastic on that guy.
Look at. I got the cap.
I'm just giving you guys
you
a
got,
small.
you got the dingus.
Here you go, Mike.
Yo,
I'm giving you guys a
it
small
smells a
piece.
lot like
Dingus.
cola, like when
Mine's
you cut
gonna be
into it,
touched many times before it
it's
gets
like
to me. I have a
super
feeling.
strong.
This doesn't look like it's like.
I
if
don't
you,
know if I want
if you
pre-touched
handled
gummies.
this to if you handed this to someone in the Middle Ages, they would
TJ.
not think that this was food.
Yeah.
It just looks like a jelly blob of.
What be this? It's like a hair
It
on
smells like thine wench.
You would
after
definitely-
a fortnight.
You would definitely get like set on fire if you brought this to some peasants. They'd be like, this is
Austin says
poison.
he definitely remembers the
Oh my
miniature
God.
version of that.
Yeah, I like the miniature versions, and they have the sour one, but we're gonna do these. So, I feel like they looked kind of weird. It looks like the stuff from Snowpiercer. Have you ever seen that movie?
I just saw
Yeah.
it recently. Yeah.
And you know they eat the
The protein.
protein
Jello.
things. Yeah, it's made out of cockroaches.
All right, let's do it.
I like it.
It's good.
It's good.
I like it. What, EJ? You don't like it?
It tastes like cleaning solution.
That's what gummy.
I can
cola-
see that, but like
They always taste
for
like
some reason I like it.
It's not getting stuck in my teeth, and you guys know I'm a huge stickler for that.
Yeah,
Stuck
it's
on
by
his teeth.
Frankfurt, by the way. I guess they make a pretty quality
Get
candy.
another piece.
So that's just like a novelty, right? Like, there's no actual like, no one's just like lining up at 7-Eleven, you know, in their,
Oh, yeah.
in their break.
Yeah, I
Have we
usually
run
get
out
these.
of large gummy colas, darling? Is that what you mean? it's better. It's better than it was the first taste. I will say that I wouldn't mind having another piece.
Yeah, I
Well,
wouldn't mind having another piece either.
cut off a little slab for them. I'm good. Get them a little.
We've got a lot of other gummies.
Yeah, we
to
got a
try.
lot of other gummies.
All right, next.
I don't like Kai with a knife. He'll
We're
kill
gonna
me.
we're gonna rank these like instead of doing the scores, we'll rank them like
First, second, third.
Yeah, first, second, third, all that. So next is another giant gummy.
That
giant-
looks like a dog food or dog
Yeah,
toy
it really does.
package.
It does. It looks like it's for a dog. I
It's
agree.
like, oh, look, you can
giant
good
gummy
chewy.
turkey leg, and it's also cola flavored. It's also cola flavored.
Then why is it a turkey? Just because it's in the
I don't
shape
know. I
of a
wanted
turkey
it to
leg.
be like turkey flavored just for the shock value for EJ. He
I,
loves that.
I like weird stuff like that because I like being disgusted.
Oh, the packaging is hard to open.
Pierce says, "Slap
Oh no,
me,
we're gonna
snack
be. You
daddy."
got a knife over there. Just cut it open. Well, watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out with those steely knives.
Austin says he definitely remembers the miniature ones of those Coke bottles. I think Haribo makes those,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's like my favorite candy company. This looks disgusting.
It has the bone in it.
Oh my god!
That looks like it was pulled out someone's butt.
Look,
Yeah.
I thought the first thing was phallic looking, but that is very.
Yeah, look, I didn't want to
very
say anything, but when I
phallic
saw it and I
Upside
felt it
down.
in the bag, I thought it was a gummy body
Dick.
part.
looking. it looks a lot harder
Turkey
too.
dick. And also it's weird if I'll pull it up, you can kind of see
I don't
the
like it.
skin, like it's like mimicking
It's got
the
texture. It's
the
got
skin
skin
of it.
texture.
So it's like I went to Busch Gardens. I was like, "Give me your finest turkey leg."
Shane
Someone said
Borelli.
Oh,
That
that's
is
Shane.
awful.
What's up?
That is awful.
Kai, can you cut us some of this
Yeah.
with your awesome knife skills?
Thanks, guys.
Austin says that he wasn't
Sauce 'em.
too fond of those small
Dang.
Coca-Cola bottles. I'll make sure to get you more.
I
That
like
texture
the
looks
Coca-Cola
gross.
bottles.
Jeez.
I like
Let's
the
watch
sour
Kai cut it.
ones. Hey, Austin, check out the
You can't really see
sour
it.
sour Coke bottles.
Watch Kai cut that.
He's cutting the meat.
This is the
it's
first
being
time
Right next
that
to the
we're
Coke.
Look
showing.
at that.
It
really
looks
is.
just like the Snowpiercer
It
thing.
really looks like the Snowpiercer stuff.
Is
I
it the
hate
same?
it.
It's probably the same
the
company.
the cockroach.
There's way too many hands touching these gummies in here.
I know.
Too many
this is
hands
super
with
gross.
too
Too many
many
hands sound like
particles. Too many particles for me.
So this company is literally called Giant Gummy Bears.
Oh my god, he's working hard.
Look
to
at
cut
how
that
he's
thing.
struggling. There is a stick in there.
This is like
Yeah,
no,
try
I'm
to-
not cutting the stick. This is just the jet. The
I don't want it.
We should all just take a bite out of it like a turkey leg.
No,
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's a good idea.
I'm not doing
Why?
it.
You'll
You
do
are
it-
cutting
just,
into
just
the
do
stick,
it
I
away
think.
from my mouth.
Oh,
do it away
whoops.
from where I bit. You'll be fine.
Cut on the side of it. Give it a little cut on the side.
EJ, last night I spit in your mouth. So
Is that what that was?
Ew. Hey, pull it back up on me. Oh, you already did. So this is the world's largest gummy bears company, and the company is literally called Giant Gummy Bears. So giantgummybears.com, Facebook. They got it all, guys. They got all the socials on the back. Check that out. Wow.
they even got a QR code.
They even got a little mustache guy.
Mustache man.
All right, Nate.
Made in the USA, he
Kai,
says.
have you gotten through? You've gotten through.
Yeah, I got 2 pieces. This
a
thing is
couple pieces. That's
All right,
gross,
Triple C.
man.
This looks a little...
Looks like somebody like a clown might have gave that to you.
I think it's funny that they
Damn.
have a QR code because who's eating that and then is like, I want to know more. You know?
It's got this like skin, like it's like they put the gummy
this is
skin
hard to
side
cut.
down, baby. They got that skin crispy. I don't know.
You got to hold off.
I'm gonna eat it
You
while
gonna
Kai
do-
cuts it.
Okay. Kai, we'll go back to Kai cutting it.
don't do that.
Oh,
It's bad.
oh Lord! I didn't know it was on me. Fuckers.
Yeah, you just look so like determined. You look like you're working
Yo,
through
I'm
it.
still trying to cut through.
Listen, guys, Frankfurt Candy needs to show Gummy Bear, world biggest gummy bear, those people, how to make candy. Because they know how to make it big and tasty. Frankfurt does. But these guys do not. I'm sorry. I just put their social all over. I'm gonna do a
EJ.
Google review later.
Do I have
For
to?
you and Mike.
Yeah, I want.
Oh, for Mike.
All right.
Here's some particle hand.
While you guys,
Ready?
yeah.
All right,
Did you
I'm gonna
not
try
catch
this
that?
turkey.
I'm really bad at ball
Oh my
catching
God.
things. Like I've always been bad at that.
I think you're really good at catching balls.
Don't eat the sugar-free Haribo's. That's true. They make you shit
Yeah,
yourself.
It really has like a skin texture, deliberate skin texture on it. It's so odd.
It's
Oh,
really
man.
hard to chew. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much texture-wise
Oh, God,
at all.
The taste is just not as
And the
good,
taste
yeah.
isn't as good
No.
either. It tastes almost like a turkey leg. Not really. But it tastes more bland than the other one. The other one was sweeter.
This one tastes more like sour, like ish, like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I kind of get that.
And I don't like the texture,
You want to try biting in it from the stick?
I don't like it at all.
and I have to pick it from my teeth.
Also, an ex-girlfriend gave me that, so I don't like it at all.
You know, like what?
I've had it for a
Yeah.
little bit.
Keeper and X.
This explains a lot of things all at once. No,
Gross.
yeah, EJ, you're not liking it either, huh?
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
kind. It's
okay.
kind of like the presentation is just like the start of a cavalcade of.
It just makes
terrible.
me sad.
I think the idea is bad all the way through.
Yeah.
Like, because I agree that, like, why would it be cola-flavored turkey?
that,
Yeah.
that tastes like household cleaner. It really does.
I think the other one was good.
The other
That-
one was better. The other one was better. It was
wasn't as
better the second
householdy?
time around. That's
This-
just kind of tangy and weird.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, so we're gonna refresh our palates.
I've heard
Some
about
more
the sugar-free
Coca-Cola.
Harbos.
We're still in the cola gummy category.
Haribo's.
I got these.
Ooh, sour
I'm very
Patch.
excited to try those.
Skyland Hoekstra, who also is a fan of the show, she gave me these. So
Very much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
We
you.
love
She's
getting
the best.
snacks to try here on the show.
Thank you, Skyland.
and it's cola Sour Patch Kids, as you can see, and they're from Australia. You cannot find these in America.
Oh, that's so cool.
Down under.
So we have an exclusive international Sour Patch flavor. I have really high hopes for these.
Me too.
I've been saving them for a while, and I almost ate the whole bag the other night.
It's like
Because I knew if I started, I would eat the whole bag. So
And you haven't had them before, or have you?
you know how it is. I have not had these. I have not had these. They smell kind of like the cleaner that
they're
EJ.
stuck together. They look like they have a ton of, I guess it's sour, but it looks like a ton of.
Sour dust,
Mm,
citric acid dust.
It has the least flavor. Right?
did you pass it to EJ?
No, yeah.
Pass it around, boss. Jeez.
I don't like it. I like the other one more. That's how much I don't like this one.
The big.
You
cola?
like the turkey leg more?
No, I like the turkey like flavor. This flavor isn't very good.
I agree. It's kind of a letdown. It's a little sandy in a weird way. Like I know Sour Patch Kids have that like we're supposed to have the sugar on it, but or the sour sugar, but this is not really right. Kind of a letdown.
So it started all right, but I don't like the aftertaste. It's weird. I like the texture of it.
It
It's
kind of
not-
tastes like one of those like Fago colas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes
it's
like
flat. It's flat cola.
Like it's at the end
Fago.
of the. It's at the end of
I
the.
feel like
the
their
syrup bag.
texture, the texture of their Sour Patch Kids are different than ours too.
Some Juggalo cola.
It tastes like real, like I don't know. It's not. It's hard to say. It's like a cross between chewy and soft, but it's
And
not.
the color's entirely artificial for all of them. So it's like, how do they decide like?
I had high hopes for this one. It's not in the last place for me, but it's not in first place.
Well, they
Yeah,
decided on that color, Mike,
I'm gonna try one more.
by looking at cola.
I do like the sour.
I don't know what beets are.
I do
Yeah,
like.
he doesn't know. He doesn't know what Cool Whip is.
I don't know what Cool Whip is either. One time, it's a quick side thing. I was hanging out with EJ, and he busts out some pie, and I look at him and go, "Dude, like, are you serious?" And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "You're dumping mayonnaise on that pie." And he's like, "This is."
I'm like, that's Cool Whip, Mike.
and I was like, "Yeah, mayonnaise." And he's like, "No."
Cool Whip.
You told him he was dumping mayonnaise on a pie.
He looked like he was dumping
Speaking
mayonnaise
of
on a
that-
pie.
It was pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving.
Speaking of that, there's this guy called Vulgar Chef that we should watch some of his videos at some point. Or he does a mayonnaise pie with a Dorito crust.
I'm down to watch it, but man, that's
Yeah, I would try it if he gave it to me. I might not make it, but all right.
All right, real quick. Go ahead.
I have some more snacks.
Some more snacks, some more gummies. It's the continuation.
I've been waiting for this one.
So Arizona
Hell yeah.
fruit snacks.
Hey, shout out to Savannah. You were just posting about this on Facebook. Well, we're gonna try them.
Yes,
Are they
Savannah, I saw
99
that.
cents?
No,
Whack.
it was like I don't
It's
remember.
a
how
whack
much it was.
attack.
It was like two something. All right, so they're individually packed, so that's nice.
You only get one gummy per package.
EJ, here, you pass it.
It's assorted, right?
Yeah, so the flavors in it are
One package is only 300 milligrams.
and one package is actually only 70 calories, which it's nice
Of
that it's
sugar.
under 100. That means you can have two, and it's not that bad. Fruit punch, mucho mango, watermelon, grapeade, and orangeade, which are the Arizona flavors. Where am I going? There we go. So it's got all these fruity flavors.
Those are kind of like the Welch's fruit snack.
Which I love. Those are I like the texture of those Welch's.
I now have gummies in my pedal board.
He spilled your
I already
gummy.
knew I liked these. 'cause
I got
had them
some in
before.
there.
They're
It
amazing.
tastes a little bit like Flintstones vitamins.
It
but
tastes
they're
like soap.
Oh my god.
It's
I
super
like-
fragrant.
You think
I like the
cilantro
texture
tastes
of
like
it, but I don't think the flavors are like amazing.
that? No,
I think it's
yeah.
the textures I like the most. I like that kind of gummy. I don't
Flavors
know.
have a little vitamin-y taste.
Yeah, it like tastes like the bottom of an Arizona drink, you know?
The
That's
bites
been
are really
sitting
small.
out for a little
Yeah.
while.
Like remember when I would get those, and I'd get two, and I had no idea how bad just one of them was for me.
Right.
Which one was that?
I would get tons of them. I've tried them all probably, but I would get the like green teas, you know?
I like those a lot.
Cassie on
And-
the chat says that it's sad that no knife usage has been for the past two snacks. Would you cut a gummy for her,
Yeah,
please?
can you cut a gummy for Cassie?
Yeah, give her a cut.
Here you go.
Oh, wait, we gotta get some.
And by the way, if you cut one of these,
he just did a flick.
if you cut one of these in half, that's like 0.7 calories.
We're gonna cut some calories real quick, guys.
Maybe
What
not.
are they? 14 calories apiece.
I don't know.
I just feel like if
I
you
just
were
messed the
eating a
math up on it.
sandwich,
It
and
kind of
then-
tastes perfumey too.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It tastes
Wait,
like so-
wait.
It's fragrant.
Asthma
Here we go.
moment.
Here we go. Here we go.
He had
There
that
it
good
is.
knife. He had that good knife in here the whole time. I brought it.
Yeah,
I was using that other thing.
Shout out to Spyderco, sponsor us.
There you go.
please.
No. I think they taste weird. Like
but
overall.
I can't stop eating because of the texture.
I
It's
really
not
like
bad,
the texture a lot.
but it's like the flavor is just so off.
It's vitamin.
It's not very desirable.
No. It tastes like just I don't know. Like I said, the bottom of an Arizona drink or something.
That's desirable to me.
Like the spit at the bottom.
The backwash.
That's not.
Yeah,
backwash.
it's like if you went to an Arizona tea party and then like you took all the empty cans and you put the little drops at the end in one can.
That's so
That's
gross.
what it would taste like.
I mean, it would be like I think this is a step up from if they made like what's it called? LaCroix? Like LaCroix gummies. Yeah. It's like I think I taste nothing. It tastes like LaCroix. Great. We did it.
It
It's
tastes
got
like
a hint of flavor.
Yeah.
boiled
No,
animal bones.
It has a hint of flavor, but that hint's like very overwhelming. Like I feel like if you were eating anything else, this would totally overpower anything else you're eating.
Someone said Cassie said you were cutting the stick too earlier.
I
with
was
the
cutting the
turkey.
stick.
I was like, Kai,
As
you're
I-
cutting the stick. He's like, no, I'm not.
After I
You're
vehemently
cutting
said I
the stick.
wasn't. Yeah. I was like, damn, this is hard to cut.
Nick Kins just said, "Ever have the Arizona black and white tea? It's the best, but unfortunately, kind of hard to find."
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
It's really hard to find.
It's-
I've only
it
seen it
hasn't-
like in 2 places.
It hasn't been around, but that used to be one of my favorites too.
I've tried that. It's
And
pretty
it's
good.
got a very like the black tea part of it has a robust kind of flavor to it.
Robust.
It tastes kind of milky too. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
milky.
Yeah, I say it's milky.
I'm waiting for the Barry White.
All
song.
right, so we're almost done with Nate Snack's Snack Attack,
We got
but we have to do a
More snacks.
plant-based gummy. No animal gelatin.
Very inclusive.
No unicorns were hurt in the making of cat cheese. A Kate cheese. I thought it was Katie's at first, but it's a J. You see that?
I thought you cat cheese.
Cat
Cat
cheese.
catches.
Catches?
Catches.
Cat
I don't
cheese.
like that.
ouches.
Okay, so one is rainbow gummies, and the other one is sour gummy like unicorns.
There's no gelatin in them, guys.
Very cool packaging. Looks kind of like you would buy this with your Lisa Frank like Trapper Keeper or whatever. You'd sneak a few in there at lunch and make your way to the cool kid table and throw them a few of these.
Isn't gelatin made out of like crushed bones?
It's made out of animal
Okay.
bones. Yeah.
I already love these because they literally say love on them. We'll show you that again in a second.
I don't think we have any of those flavors, do we?
I think we got.
You
the
mean
rainbow
on
gummy.
Earth?
No, here
You
in
wanna
the, in the, in the
Okay.
Starfire Studios.
Interesting. It does say love.
There was one
These are
that
gorgeous.
there was one that I didn't have.
I
Pass
do
pass
like
these to
these.
EJ. Okay, so these are awesome. I like them. Pull in on me, EJ, for a second. Look at that. It says love. It says love. I love it. Okay, and there's little unicorns.
That's the rainbow.
I actually like these a lot.
The flavor's citrusy.
Very tart.
It tastes kind of like one of those lollipops that you would get at the fair or whatever.
Mine says love.
Those big lollipops.
I like the texture of these too. These are good.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's tough. They're tough.
A little tough.
It's tougher.
It's
Oh,
tough,
it says
it's
at the
tough.
top, they're strawberry, orange, cherry, and blueberry, like all together. That's why it's all different colors.
It's tough love.
All right, last one. And these are sour. I love sour candies. All right, what do these have? These have stars, unicorn heads, hearts, and little rainbow things. So there's a lot of flavors in this one. So try to get Try to get a good spread of the flavors, y'all. Here. That should be good. All right. You pass them around.
In the chat, Rachel, or I can't really read it, 1989 says, cool. We think you're cool too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really like this one.
I kind of like it.
I haven't had that one yet.
Oh, you haven't had these. They remind me of something like Trader Joe would make because it's like no gelatin, but it actually kind of has a good flavor.
Okay, here we go.
I like sour too.
Michael?
These remind me of a little bit of the chewier Sunkist. I don't know if you ever had them, those Sunkist like round things.
Oh, I love Sunkist,
Those are so good.
but not the same flavor as Sunkist or texture.
Oh, I like these. These are good. They're better than the other ones.
I like these too.
These are good. Cat jizz. I mean, I don't know what her name is. That's what it says on the thing.
The
I'm
sour
sorry.
ones don't have any taste to it.
What?
You got COVID.
What?
He's got
You
that COVID tongue. He's like, it just tastes like dirt.
No, actually, I like it the more I eat it.
It's good. I like it.
It's good.
Not
You
gonna
can't-
lie.
You can't come back from that.
Now we have to
I
rank.
hate it.
Now we have to rank them. Okay, so let's recap. We had the giant cola bottle.
Wait,
We had the
did you have the red one?
uh-huh.
Kind of tastes like tomato.
This one?
It has. I bet you they use vegetables in these.
It
Let's
tastes
see.
like tomato. Like
Yep.
sour tomato.
Listen to the ingredients: sugar, glucose syrup, all that. Fruit juices for color, vegetable juices for color, and spirulina extract. So it's got a little vegetal. They're plant based, and it says plant and algae derived colors. No palm tree oil, no palm oil, whatever that is.
Right.
I guess from palm trees. And okay, so I'm gonna just start. So we had the giant gummy cola. We had the gummy turkey leg, which was terrible. We had the Sour Patch colas. We had Arizona gummies, and
Yeah.
then catches.
Catches.
I'm gonna say catches. Okay, and I'm gonna start with my ranking. I'm gonna say this is the best so far. It just had a lot of flavor. It's plant free. I don't feel bad eating them as much as some other candies. So that's my number one. My number two is actually the gummy cola,
Big one.
the big boy. Then in third place, I guess I'd say the Arizona fruit snacks, even though they didn't wow me. After that, the Sour Patch Kids, those disappointed me. I'm disappointed, kids.
Sour.
Where are your parents?
First they're terrible, then they're expensive.
First they're terrible, then they're expensive. That should be, because those are actually like $10 a bag off of International Candy website. So, anyways, and then that brings me to my last. I rank that last. That's last for me. Okay, so Kai, what do you think?
I'm pretty on board with that lineup. The only thing that I would switch around is I like the non-sour version of that better than the sour.
You did.
Yeah.
I like both of them. Oh, and I
Yeah.
forgot the non-sour ones, but yeah, those are definitely second for me.
This is definitely last. This thing sucks, but
I just like him waving it and saying it sucks.
yeah, I'm like really tempted to just bite off of it, but I don't
Do
know.
it.
Yeah, we want to see it.
Yeah, we wanna see it.
EJ's gonna bite off of it.
Come on, EJ. Just rip it. Salt. It's
I'm not gonna do that. It's gross.
Just
Come
just
on.
I just wanted the talking legs so I can talk.
I love it. Oh God!
Pass the talking leg to
What
Mike.
is happening there?
I don't know. I just had.
I
too
feel
much
like this
fun
is
with
this has
talking.
got to be one of our snack highlights. EJ like doing the shake weight with.
So, since
Oh
I
my
have
god,
it,
I forgot about that.
I broke the stick. So anyway, I agree with you, Nate, on everything on your ranking. So that's all.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna say.
God! I love you, EJ.
Mike.
You're
I-
so sweet.
Take
Would you
talking
like the
leg.
Give me the talking leg.
The talking phallic leg. Here you go.
So I think
Shake it.
I think that the
shake it,
big
baby.
Coca-Cola was the best.
Okay.
And then I thought the Arizona tea was the second best.
Oh my gosh.
And then I thought the Sour Patch Kids were the third best. And then I thought the animal free thing was the second worst.
What?
And then I thought this was the worst. It's just, it's so tough. Like, you couldn't bite into it without it going all into every crevice of your teeth.
Well, yeah, that was definitely the worst. And now he's passing it to me, folks.
Shake it.
And my hand doesn't
Shake
smell
it.
after holding that,
Shake
by the
it.
way.
Shake it, mate. Shake it. Shake it.
Like a cola
Have
Shake
you guys
it, shake
ever
it.
have you guys ever been able to finish one of those turkey legs before by yourself?
No.
Who's ever had? Oh, you mean a real turkey
Yeah,
leg?
the real one.
Oh, yeah.
You can finish
You
one?
finish one?
There's
Yeah.
so much salt in it, I can't finish it. It's like I feel embalmed.
I just
pretty
think it's
good.
huge.
Well, it was really good. I don't eat a lot of them. And, you know,
ASMR, people
I think,
like,
like seriously, the last one I ever had was like a concert, and I'll talk about it later. The fish show. I went one of the fish shows I went to.
They were selling them there?
Yeah,
They were selling what?
turkey legs.
legs.
Oh, nice. Were they dosed?
is that Covington?
I was.
Now this thing,
such an
Dosed
maybe.
with
That's
happiness.
such an odd food to dose.
this thing
like-
looks like a duck's penis now or something. you know,
Dosing
like-
some turkey legs out in the middle of a concert field.
You would knock someone out if they hit somebody.
Yeah.
They're so big.
I'm
There were a
sure.
lot of turkey.
I'm
legs
sure
on.
Megan's gonna want some of this after. What do you guys think?
After we shake it
After
and
we've
touched
been
it,
shaking and touching it,
Shaking
just
it.
tons of touching,
Biting off of it.
particle finger touching,
I think we need to throw this on the grill. Actually, you know,
and ruin the grill.
yeah, it would literally.
Yeah, I need a new grill
ruin
anyway.
anything.
I'm totally down to make a video.
Mike's trying to cook steaks and it still tastes like cola like a year later.
I
Oh my
can't
God.
shake the cola.
Meanwhile, we got the roach jello here, which
That's been
Look at
touched
this.
a lot too.
yeah, this is very handsy. At this
It's got
point.
like fingerprints all over it.
Look at this. This is like straight from Snowpiercer.
That looks.
Also, my Sour Patch Kid. He's
Oh.
he's very disappointed in his kin.
He's still in the box.
He's still in the box. I keep him in the box. Hey, if you guys get us to 1,000 TikTok followers, I'll take him out of the box. Don't give a shit.
Challenge. Oh, careful!
He's fine. Okay, so
Well, thanks guys for joining us on this episode of Nate's Sacks Snack Attack. We are live at the Starfire. Was that with the protein bar?
Was that with or without protection?
Ooh.
Oh yeah! Slap that.
this is how the first jam, the next jam's gonna start.
We should.
Setting the tempo.
yes.
You're gonna start it that
All
way.
right, you know what?
Yeah,
it's
start
happening.
it that way.
You got to start it that way.
All right, guys, you can't tune away from us because he's going to start the song legitimately with the protein bar.
Smack
thank-
him.
What?
You are. You got to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
said
Oh,
you
I
were
guess
gonna do
so.
it. All right. Thanks for joining us at the Starfire Studios for Galaxy Jams. If you guys are on Twitch, and I recommend you guys listen to us on Twitch because that is where the best audio is, make sure that you like the page and you listen to us there because, again, we have the best audio quality there. But all of our previous streams and today will be up on YouTube, and we're going to be making a lot of snippets too. So if you wanted to see a little bit about the turkey leg, it's going to be up there by itself, so you don't have to watch the whole stream if you just want to see stuff about turkey legs. Check us out on YouTube there.
They want the turkey legs.
Join us on Facebook on our fan page. Just look up Galaxy Jams fan page. Like that page. And lastly, we are trying to get 1,000 followers on TikTok because we can't stream on there for some odd reason until we got 1,000 followers. So if you got a TikTok, go there, like the page. If you don't have a TikTok, make a TikTok just to do that. You never have to touch TikTok again. It helps us out. But we're going to go ahead and jam out again. That was awesome.
Yeah. How you guys doing tonight? We're just hanging out, jamming, having a good time, and glad you all are here. A couple new people to the chat. Devin Rowe, y'all too lit. Fire. Brian Looper.
Fire.
Nice.
Fire.
Thanks.
Love
Shit.
this vibe. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Brian.
It's hard for me to read that as a.
We appreciate
you guys.
Rachel,
Rachel CR.
Rachel in 1989. That was cool how y'all added the gummy smack in.
Thank you.
She brought it
the
all
gummy
back to the gummy smack.
The gummy smack.
I should have kept that loop for the end there.
We should have more snacks started.
Snacks.
We just see like Nate chewing and then just
Snack
make a whole,
loops.
like-
Nate could definitely do that. Just chew and loop it.
We'll make it musical.
Pringles can rhythm.
Thanks, guys, for sticking with us.
Yeah, so, I think that all of us are in bands, right? And I think that a lot of us have experience, and I'm sure that some of the people who are watching this are in a band, and, it's definitely like a whole entire game that you have to play, And I know that all of us combined in here have so much experience with, playing in bands and things like that. And I think that we all learned a bunch of things along the way. And I know that the people watching this, a lot of them can relate to this. If you've ever been a musician that's trying to like make some money or trying to earn some kind of living or make it, whatever that means. I think that a lot of people, are trying to see what's like the next best thing or what's like solid things that you can do. And so I think that this would be a really, really fun time to talk about, what are some things that you learned and some tips that you could give and things like that. And so EJ, I know that, based on how you've been with the band that we're in, you're probably a big driving force in all the other bands that you've been in. Give me some things that you may have learned along the way or some tips, or what kind of advice can you give any up-and-coming musicians or bands that's watching this that, could use some advice from someone as experienced as you?
Oh, wow. That's a big question.
Yeah, that was the longest question I've ever heard.
I think it's still,
How do you do band good?
it's still going on.
How do you do bang good?
in my
TLDR.
mind. I don't know. I mean, I guess the best thing I could say is, really listen to a lot of different music. And, some bands try to be just like other bands, and there's always those copycat bands and everything like that. And, and that's not you're talking about like what to do with a band to make it.
Yeah, like
I don't know. I haven't made it.
I know, but
So
like,
nothing
there's-
I've done.
I like how you started with music though.
Well, I was
That's a
going to
good
say,
start.
with
Right.
like music, kind of come up with your own thing and do your own thing, and at least you're going to enjoy yourself while you're doing it, and not trying to sound like another band or, just throughout the years, there's been tons of bands like, when Blink 182 was hot, there's like 10 other million bands that sound like Blink 182, and then you all
like
of a sudden,
Sum 41.
all of a sudden you're in a trivia night.
Some 41 was dope though.
all of a
So-
sudden
Yeah.
you're in a trivia night and you're like, oh, it's Blink 182, and no, it's Sum 41, and like, damn it.
Yeah,
No, but I don't know. Have your own originality. Do your own thing.
that is really hard to do these days too.
It
you know?
is. It is. But it kind of is just if you listen to a bunch of different music, it kind of naturally happens.
Yeah.
So I guess don't lose yourself in the whole gambit of trying to I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying
Trying
to say.
to like
man. It's like
dig into a fad or something.
yeah,
or-
don't try to dig into a fad. I mean, definitely.
Some
there's
people will
kinds of
say
music-
the opposite, but you're saying like kind of for artistic integrity.
I mean, for your
Sounds
own,
like-
yeah. I mean, it all.
hard to
Everybody
say.
has a different view of it. That's just my view of it. But I wouldn't say that was going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like
know, I mean, I think it's just pure luck and being in the right place at the right time and knowing the right people, and that's the only way you're going to make it. It's just like getting a job anywhere, really.
sure.
It's very hard to like just submit resumes and get a job, but if you know somebody
Yeah,
somewhere,
it's
then you
connections
can
for
get
sure.
in. It's all connections. That's all it is. So, I mean, that's the one thing about it is maybe I guess I could say, go to a place with a lot of connections.
Yeah.
Put yourself in there. It's a job just trying to make connections with people.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
hard.
it's kind of like, even, Mike's played a bunch of festivals. I played some festivals. And in playing festivals, you get to meet a lot of people backstage and you get to meet a lot of different musicians. And, I mean, that's where even
It's a
I met.
snowball.
Yeah, I met Pigeons playing ping pong with you. We also met the guy from
New
the
Deal.
New Deal. Yeah, Jamie from the New Deal. That one guy.
That
Yeah,
one
we got
guy's
private magic show.
Yeah, we got a private magic show from that one.
that one guy's
that's
cool.
cool.
He does his own stream
Yeah.
show. It's
He's
called
really, really
from
funny,
the
yeah.
from the butt noggin.
Yeah, he's funny and really strange.
That's what it's called.
And he's definitely original. I'll tell
I
you
love
what. He
him.
makes his own instruments. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's like
Yeah,
one of the
we'll
most
have to show you some of that.
one of the most original artists out there, honestly.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people know about him though. Actually.
No, not a lot of people know about him. I mean, I knew so many people. I made a lot of connections going through the years and my old creaky old years, where even when I was in radio, I mean, the amount of people I've met in radio, it's making connections, but you got to make those connections pay off, and that's the thing. It's very hard to do because a lot of the people that have the connections are getting hit up by thousands and thousands of other people. So it's really, I guess, focusing on your craft, making yourself the best you can be, and trying to make those connections.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I think making content just all the time,
Yeah.
that's part of it now too, because it's really a content war out there, and that's one of the hardest things to keep up with because there's so many apps and reels and TikTok and all this content just flooding in people's faces. So you want to make good content, which is really hard, and so align yourself with good artists, like visual artists, if you're not one yourself. Because you want to kind of tie in their visual experience with your musical experience.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that with consistency and putting stuff out over and over. It's actually a problem I have right now because apps like TikTok, I know we were just making fun of TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok is where new musicians are being found probably more than anywhere else.
Right.
And it's because they're linking up with trends that are being seen automatically by the algorithm by millions of people, and then their music is overlapped on that trend.
Right.
And if you don't post on TikTok often, it just won't. No one will pick up on it, and that's where I've had issues where I'm I want to put out some cool stuff, but just coming up with good material every single day, putting it out there, and hoping that a bunch of people will see it is kind of the game right now.
It's literally like having two full-time jobs because the first full-time job is you have to do a band, and band means that you're dealing with people, and band means that you're practicing and you're making the music and you're making the albums, and then you're going on tour and you're doing all that stuff, right? And then there's a whole nother, it's 3 jobs. The first job is the band, right? You're making the music and then you're trying to make the music sound good. The second job is you're advertising the music. So then you're marketing yourself, right? And then the third, which I think is a separate thing, is booking the shows, negotiating for the shows. And it's that's a full-time job too. And it's it's hard to find even a group of people that have the qualities that can get those 3 jobs done.
That's so true.
It's very, very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, every time I'm in a band, I expect to do all that stuff, and it's hard to keep up with. And a lot of my projects, that's their downfall is it's just so much to keep up with. You got to keep creating content, and then you want to have be in a project with people that care as much about it as you.
Yeah,
That's really hard to find. I've found out because they need to have the same process or the same goals as you, and that's really hard to find. Yeah,
it's easy to get that one person in a band that's just kind of existing and is there, and it just drags the whole thing down, and it's horrible.
Yeah, and you don't even notice it, but it's sucking the whole energy out of the band over the course of 3 years.
And speaking of energy, I think another thing that is terrifying, but it's true, is that bands rely on snowballing. You do something and then you capitalize on that, and then you capitalize on that, and then you capitalize on that, right? It's if you ever see a band that when they come to your town, they're in a small room, and then they get in a bigger room, and then they get in a big room, and then for whatever reason they lose their steam. Then the fourth time they come, they're in the small room again. I've never really see bands that come back from that. You know what I mean? I never see it has to be, even if it's gradual, it must be upward trajectory.
Well, fans are fickle too. So.
Yeah, and people are
fans.
You
Fans
do
are
one
fair
thing they
weather
don't like,
fans. Yeah. There's a band called Dada that was from the 90s.
Love them.
And their music.
Met them.
Yeah, their music is so good. I've seen them a couple times in concert, and the story goes that I guess the guitarist got carpal tunnel or had to get surgery, and they were in the height of their the peak of their popularity, and it just that moment kind of screwed everything up. Like they
Right.
had to miss a bunch of shows and their momentum kind of died. They've made great music, but I just don't feel like they got the, the path that they deserved because of one little thing. And
That
it
was like right
sorry.
after El Subliminoso, right?
Was that
I think it was right after their album El Subliminoso.
El Subliminoso? I don't know if I'm familiar with that one. I like Puzzle. That's
El Subliminoso
the
is
main
really
one.
good. But I picked them up from the airport in Norfolk and drove them down to the Outer Banks because I was in a radio station down there, working down there. And we had them for our anniversary celebration one year.
Yeah, and this is the
that's
band
cool.
we're
Yeah.
talking about Dada, which
Dada.
is they did the song Disneyland.
That's what most people
Their
know.
most popular. I'm going to Disneyland.
But it was definitely after that period of time where you'd hurt his hand because I remember talking to him about it when we were eating dinner.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they put out some good stuff since then, but like then this is kind of an interesting story. A rapper called Dada started uploading music on the Spotify, and it was like crossing into their Spotify
Right.
account, and like it's just really weird. Now they're not very popular, but they still made a mark on me at least. But you know,
Very good musicians, really good overall songwriters and everything.
But also I wanted to say, it's back to what I was saying before, where you need the same goals. Like my band, the Life Hacks, when we were kind of like trying to progress, I wanted to go in the more original music route, and my band was playing all the bars and restaurants in the area and doing really well at it. But I wanted to take a step back from that. But the guys I was working with, they didn't align with me on that. So that's why I
It's
ended up.
hard,
It is
because
really
you
hard,
leave
yeah.
the comfort zone of the guaranteed money that you're playing these covers, and it's like saying, like, hey guys, like, why don't we go out of town and play new music in places that we've never been for no money?
And it's a risk.
And
yeah.
so
And when
it's
you-
hard.
And when you're playing those covers and everybody loves them already and they're just cheering you on, giving that energy, and it's a risk when you start working on your original music and no one knows what it is.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, when you do get the cheers for your original
It's
music,
better than anything.
it's better
It's
than
better
playing
than
the covers.
anything. Way better.
I've done both.
Yeah, I mean, with
Same.
Galaxy Dynamite, like we added a cover here and there sometimes, but those weren't really the crowd favorites.
I think it
usually,
was
actually.
more of a self-pleasure thing. You
Yeah,
know?
we did it for ourselves. Yeah,
each song it was.
Self-pleasure.
Yeah, you know,
Self-pleasure.
for example,
Kai looked at me when I,
I was
said
gonna say
self-pleasure.
we got the
Ooh, self-pleasure.
The self-pleasure
talk
stick.
leg, yeah.
The talking turkey
So
leg.
I wanted to piggyback off of what Nate was saying about just being in a band with other people, because it can be a super big shit show if you're not with the right people. And everybody says that they want to be in a band. I have friends right now, all mutual friends with me and Mike, that like they're musicians. They want to be in a band, but you have to be able to work with other people. You have to be able to like concede sometimes when you feel like you're right. You have to be able to communicate in a very high stress environment. And if you can't do that, it's always going to fall apart. You know?
Yeah, and I've definitely changed over the years with certain things, and Mike and EJ know this, and you now, that I just really care about like the quality of things sometimes, like to a point where it can be a little neurotic, and I get that because that's just my style. Like I just care so much that I get a little bit too into my head about it. But I always hope that my bandmates know that my intentions are for the good of the band. But you know, when you're doing bands now, we've got all these like group messages and all this stuff, and we found out recently it's just better to call and talk on the phone.
just call and talk like
There's
we
a
call
are.
me,
lot
baby.
lost in text. Yeah,
Being in
for
a
sure.
band with someone is like being their business partner and then being their girlfriend at the same exact time. It's really,
Self-pleasure.
It's really
Or
hard.
sibling.
Business and pleasure mixing,
Yeah,
and it
it's
usually
really,
doesn't
really
work
hard.
anywhere else. Is the thing, but
And when you break up with a band, it's like breaking up with two girlfriends
It's
you know,
horrible.
however many people are in there.
it's horrible.
I want to get to the next jam, but first, you know, I have been doing a lot with bands and stuff, and over the years, I think that I've learned a few certain things. EJ, bring it into me. I've learned a few things that if you follow these steps, if you're listening to me and you're in a band, then I guarantee you that each of these steps is going to concrete get you closer to your goals, okay? I got 4 steps. Here we go. Listen to me clearly, okay?
Mike's 4 steps.
Let's go. The first step I want you to do right now is I want you to make an Excel spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, I want you to put every single venue that you ever could play at, that you ever in any universe could drive to, okay? And I don't want you to just put like their email and like their number. I want you to call them and get their booking agency. I need you to make a compendium of every single venue you could ever play at, okay? And not only do I want you to do that, I want you to look up every single band that you ever could play with. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how small they are. You need to write down who they are, what their booking agent or contact number is, and if they have a booking agency, then I want you to write down every single booking agent's contact info, okay? And then thirdly, what I want you to do in that same Excel spreadsheet is I want you to have the list of every single festival that you ever even could dream of playing of, and I want you to look at the little blank presents at the top of every lineup, go to their website and look up their booking agent and get their email and number, okay? And this is something you got to work on all the time. So make a huge list of bands, venues, booking agents, and festivals that you could play. If you have this information all together, I guarantee you that when you're doing tours and when you're doing stuff, is going to make it a lot easier. The second thing that I want you to do, this is going to be long.
That was just one.
That was just one thing. This is really important, man. I really learned this stuff. The second thing that I
Mike,
want you to do is...
He's the band manager for all bands now.
Yeah, dude. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to take... every single time that you've ever played a show in the past 3 years, and I want you to list it into an Excel spreadsheet. I want to know where you played, when did you play, how long was your set, who did you play with, how many tickets did you sell, how many tickets did you pre-sale, how many tickets did you sell at the door, right, and how much money you made. I want every single show you ever played in the past 3 years to be on there.
Doesn't this sound fun, guys? It sounds so fun.
Well, it's true, man.
No,
you know?
I know, and let me just say, I'm making light of it because
It's true,
but-
man. So
but
many
being
people
in a
don't do
band-
this basic shit, and it's like...
being in a band with Mike, I did realize how relentless he is, and honestly, I think we need to do like a 3-part like thing that people can subscribe to, where Mike has all the band secrets. You know, he's like, "You want to be in a band? I want to see this. I want to see this. Show us your dick. Show us everything you got. We want to see those balls too. Drop them down real low and just get on your knees and find the nearest booking agent and just go to town."
I mean, that's essentially what it is, you know? And it's like, look, and then the last thing is, this is the last thing, is that every single show, you should be recording it, video and audio.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
yeah.
I've played probably 500 shows in my life. I maybe have a recording of 40 of them.
Yeah, that's so important and so
Videos.
hard.
You know, it's like, it's so overlooked, you know?
So hard to do properly
Yeah.
too, actually.
We'd always have friends record because friends are showing up with their cell phones, and I always ask them for it. I'm like, hey, could you give that to me because I want to see what we look like, what we're doing up
Yeah,
there.
I find that the people that are recording on their cell phones, they get like the worst part, and it's
Yeah.
like 5
Or
seconds.
or
of
it's
it.
like it's like this really great part and they just cut off the phone.
Or like,
Yeah.
how many times have you played the best show of your life and you go to the sound guy and you're like, did you tell me you got that? And he's like, bro, like, I'm sorry.
I
like,
forgot to
oh."
press record.
Like, you know, it
So
was
bad.
blinking and then I pressed it again and then, you know what I mean? It's like, it's terrible, man.
Speaking of that, we Galaxy Dynamite has some live shows from all the way back in 2019, I think. That we are possibly going to put out there for you guys. So
Yep.
we'll see. But we played at Tap Shack. That's a great place, and they record you. If
Pretty
you,
decent recording too.
Yeah, it sounds actually really good. Just putting that out there.
If you ever want to pick our brains about anything, go to our fan club, right? Go to Facebook and type in Galaxy Jams Fan Club. That's the best way to get in touch with us so I can bark more orders at you.
I'd like to do my school of thought on that whole thing. Or you could just become a really good musician and wear a robe and underwear and do a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah, you could
It's
do
a lot less work.
A lot less work.
And
You
then
just
get
dance
sponsored
around in your underwear.
Get sponsored by Liquid Death.
The water.
The
Right.
water, the mountain water,
Water
in a can. Yeah, you got to get sponsored by Liquid Death. But I don't know. All the people that I follow on Instagram that I really enjoy are these phenoms. Is everything okay over there?
I'm all right.
all the people that I follow that I seem to like want to check out all the time are these like absolutely phenomenal like players that are just insane. And it kind of discourages me sometimes. Like I know, I've been doing music a long time and I love it, and I consider myself a true musician and speak the language, all that. But some of these people on Instagram and TikTok and stuff that I watch, they make me want to put down my instrument or at least go practice twice as hard next time. So
Well, there's one thing I will say about that is there's a lot of them on there that are like crazy good at playing guitar or something like that, because they'll just rip out somebody's lead or something like that. It kind of virtuoso, but they don't really write anything a lot of the times.
yeah, some
And-
of them do, but not a lot.
And
yeah.
and there's a lot of those people out there, and there always have been a lot of those people out there. But it takes more than just being a really good musician to make it. It takes
Oh yeah, I don't think being good has anything to do with it.
not necessarily. Yeah, I mean, kind of sometimes.
I said
way,
I said the
dude.
opposite earlier. I said just but here we are.
No, I think you
so.
should do it, but there. I mean, again, it comes down to luck and it comes down to connections.
Yeah, but there are still solid things you can do, to at least give yourself the best shot, right?
Absolutely, there's always things you can do to give yourself the best shot.
And I do believe that a team is important. So as soon as you can find representation that has a good situation in the contract and everything, go for it. That's my opinion. But read the contracts.
Sign blindly.
I actually just signed. I don't know if I mentioned this on the program. I think I did. The one of the projects I work with, Righteous Few, signed to Hartsville Records or Hartsville Music, which is from Australia. So the deal is they're going to distribute our next single, which is called Shotgun Honey. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but that's like one of the first little tastes of that level that I've gotten to. So I'm happy about it.
That's awesome. You guys ready to go?
Yeah,
All right,
ready to do it.
play some
I think
music.
so.
Woo, that was good.
Man,
I'm really
Sweaty.
digging the endings. Yeah. If you guys are still sticking with us, thank you once again for joining us at the Starfire Studios with Galaxy Jams. Please like us on Facebook at our fan page. So that's Galaxy Jams fan page on Facebook. And if you are into audio, you want the highest quality audio you can possibly get, that's going to be on Twitch. So like the page, listen to the music there. And we are still trying to get that 1,000 on TikTok, guys. So if you just joined us, you heard us in the last the last stream. We're trying to get 1,000 on TikTok because we can't stream there until we get 1,000 followers there. And if you want to hear the whole episode or snippets like of Nate Sack, Snack Attack, and all of the other stuff, YouTube's where you will find everything cataloged and ready for you to go. I know we were just talking about bands and everything, and I'm kind of new to going. This sounds weird as a musician, but I'm kind of new to going to shows. Mike's been like the gateway into just going to awesome concerts.
Mike's a gateway drug.
Thank you. I was like about this.
I already knew that.
Mike
one.
literally calls me and he's like, "Hey, you
I was
want to go
about
to the
to say.
show?" And I've never heard of the band before, and I'm just like, "Sure, I'll go."
He's like, you want to go see McGee's Knees? Let's go. They're really great. The
really
guy
a-
last week sold 370 keyboards. And, man, he is fantastic. You got to go see
His
this guy.
NFT game is just
He spins
chef's
his
kiss.
own legs on his records and McGee's Knees.
Yeah.
But Nate, we'll start with Nate. What's your favorite show of all time? That
My
you've ever been
favorite show of all time. That's
Yeah.
so hard, man.
Wait, I think that there's two kinds of favorite shows. There's the best performance, and then
Okay.
there's the time you had the best time. And those aren't mutually
Okay.
exclusive, right?
to?
Yeah.
That makes it easier.
I would say the best performance I ever saw was Alt J at the Merriweather Post Pavilion. They're like this really cool experimental British rock band. I mean, I don't even know if I call it rock, but it's like alternative kind of experimental music. And I was on the third row watching these guys. And there's only 3 of them, but the drummer plays this like amazing looking kit. That's a lot of different kinds of percussion you don't usually see on a drum kit. You'd be interested to see that.
Did anyone open for them?
I don't remember who opened, actually, to be honest.
They used to be a really big deal.
Yeah, I mean, they are still a pretty big deal. Like when they start to play again and sell, if they make another record, people are gonna buy it. They're pretty big. But yeah, Alt J, and then one time I saw King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, which we talked about, or I talked about before. They're from Australia, great psych rock band. I saw them at the Mission Ballroom. That was the first time I saw them.
Isn't that a new venue?
It's a newer venue in Denver, yeah. And I was just out there with my friend, and randomly we looked at the schedule, and it was like, holy shit, King Gizzard's playing. So we went.
No way, you didn't know?
Yeah, I didn't know. I wasn't
That's
out
awesome.
there for that. And me and my friend Mike, another Mike,
Oh, was it Mike Lehman?
Mike Lehman, yeah.
His band sounds good. Have you listened to his band?
Yeah, Booster. Yeah, they're from Colorado. Shout out to Mike if he ever watches one of these. So yeah, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I'm gonna see them again at Shaky Knees Festival in April. So
What about you, EJ? What is a good show that you would say
Ooh.
musically, and then a good show that you just had the best time at?
I'm going to go with the best time and musically. I'm going to say one of my best time. Of course.
Coventry,
No.
Big Cypress.
Big Cypress.
Oh,
I went
wow.
to Big Cypress,
of course we got a fish
which
concert.
That's like one of the
I
best
have to.
shows like
It's-
ever. Probably.
it was one of the best shows I've ever been to in my life. And the place was amazing.
It's out there in the middle of nowhere.
It was in the Everglades
Whoa,
on an Indian reservation. So everything was legal.
whoa, that's crazy.
The Native American police rode horses, and they rode horses around.
yeah, and they look badass.
Yeah, they
the
were
Native
cool as
American
hell.
police out there.
They had like helmets on and everything, like these kind of like black police helmets.
They're intense.
And but it was the infrastructure for this place was amazing. Like over 100,000 people showed up.
For one band, mind you.
Yeah, and for Fish, that was it.
I've never been in a
And,
crowd that big.
yeah, it was
Have
crazy.
you, Nate? Have you ever been in a 100,000 people crowd?
Maybe I don't think so. Only when I went to a Virginia Tech football game, maybe.
That's 100,000 people, right?
That's a lot of people.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not
It's not.
100,000, yeah.
It's probably the biggest crowd I've been in though.
But
yeah.
yeah. So it was 14 hours of traffic getting in
Oh my god.
on the Everglades
I
Highway.
saw. I went to Langerado in the same location. So
Yeah.
I know how treacherous
Is
it
it
is.
is it like out in the swamp?
Yeah,
Swamp?
and
Whoa.
there's like alligators on the side.
Literally
of it,
the
so-
road going out there is called Alligator Alley.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
And
there's
so like we were
yeah.
stopped on the side of the road for 14 hours to
next
get
to
in.
some alligators.
Yeah, well, there was an accident with somebody who was like messing around on top of an RV because it was going slow and they fell off and they got run over and killed. And so I had to do an
Oh my God.
investigation and everything. It's
Man.
the only thing that happened
They
the
were
whole time.
messing around, like you're talking about, like
They were probably messed up and they were like
Oh.
top of an RV, like
That's crazy.
and they fell off.
That's not
and
the
they got
that's
run
not the
over.
only fatality to fish show either.
No, it's not. It's the only one
no,
that
yeah.
shit.
Well, you're always gonna have people
I
dying
mean,
when
there's so
you get
many.
that many people.
That's crazy.
In one place. Yeah.
But anyway, the infrastructure for this place when you got in, there were roads. They weren't gravel roads, but there were roads.
There's like one road really. I mean,
Well, no,
isn't
it's
there?
branched off.
Oh, it branches
It's
off.
a couple, like all through the camping area.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
yeah,
the
I got you.
water that they had there, I mean, it's free water. They had these giant things of drinkable water, and they kept filling them the whole entire time. So it was free water. You could buy
Potable
water
water.
too. And then there was a little town set up, kind of a thing. Actually, I'll show you. I got some pictures ready here.
And it was just for
Oh
the
yeah, and
show?
they did the hot dog
Yeah,
gag.
we'll talk about that. Here you go. So, that's the hot dog gag. We'll talk about that. But they had like a little town set up, a fake
so cool.
western town, and on the other side was like a fake, like southern,
That's wild.
like plantation town kind of thing.
Especially out there. How'd they get all that out there?
I know,
It's
but it was
nuts.
all built up for it. It was crazy, and then the crazy thing. This is some of the shots from it. Look at all these taper things. I don't know if you can see all these little
Yeah,
sticks.
the tapers were wild back
It was
then.
all it was just all tapers of taping the show.
Audience recordings. We didn't have
they-
nugs.net back
Uh,
then.
What an amazing event. you know?
So we got in there on a Thursday morning. We were in traffic for a long time, and we got in there. They did a sound check on Thursday. It was 3.5 hours long. Then on Friday, they're like, "Join us back here at Friday at like 5 or something."
They had a
like that.
3.5 hour sound
Yeah,
check.
they just kept playing,
Oh.
and then
Sound check.
it was like a sound check, but it was a show. I mean,
Yeah.
they meant to play, but it was like 3.5 hours long. And then they came on Friday and played from like 5 to like 8 or 9
Yeah,
at night.
back then they played like these crazy marathon
Right.
sets.
Then they said when they were getting off the stage on Friday, they were like, "Come back here at midnight. We're gonna celebrate the new year." And everybody was freaked out about Y2K, right? So because it was year
It was the year
2000,
2000.
yeah,
Oh,
1999,
dang.
2000. And so they're like, "Come back here. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna play from midnight until the sun comes up," which was around 7:45 in the
Oh
morning.
my god.
No breaks.
Didn't they have police officers standing around the stage to
No.
prevent them from going to leave?
No.
That's what I read. There was a show
I-
that they did that they like. It was a joke, but like there was like cops
I
that were
didn't-
like
I
there
didn't-
so they wouldn't.
I didn't see any.
And then
But
I read that there was a porta potty and Mike
there
Gordon
was
like
a
went to the
porta-potty. Yes,
bathroom
and
while
did
he
go
was
to the
playing.
bathroom while he was playing. So and he kept playing. He like skipped a beat like a couple seconds.
That's yeah, I'm
Really
sure a
funny.
couple seconds.
And
That's funny.
Yeah, so they did that, and they played from. Well, when they first came on, I'm gonna kind of give you this. So there was the whole weirdness, the feeling of. Here it is. The feel you can't see it very well there, but I'll explain it. There was this weird, like ominous feeling of like what's going to happen out here in the middle of nowhere, and it's because Y2K was like, it was all over the news, like regular news, right? Which is all like this might happen, but nobody knows if it's going to
People
happen.
thought planes were gonna fall out of the sky.
Well, they thought like the computers were going to start working because of this thing. Anyway, so they had this stage built up, so like it probably like 30.
Wait, the
30
computers want to stop working?
Yeah,
'cause
they
the
would-
Y2K.
Yeah, the
Y2K.
Y2K thing. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So they had the stage set up. I wish maybe I could blow it up a little bit here. Here we go.
Yeah, let's get a zoom on that.
So they got
That's-
the stage set up, and there was this tick-tocking clock with a clock that worked, and was like 30 minutes beforehand. This guy shows up here, and you can't see him too well, but it's basically like a guy that has giant hands and like a paper mache old man mask, like old Father Time, right?
Looks kind of like Pink Floyd or something like
Right.
that.
And so he gets on this little exercise bike, and he just starts going with the rhythm of the clock. It's like click, tick, and there's all you hear in this crowd of all these people is this thing tick-tocking like a grandfather clock. It's like tick, tock, tick, tock for 30 minutes. This guy's riding a bike, and as he gets closer and closer to midnight, he gets slower. Tock.
Whoa.
And then the tick tock gets louder. It's just coming through the speakers.
Everyone's just getting bombed.
And everybody was just like, yeah, like freaking out, eating turkey legs.
They were,
Yeah,
so that's
eating
where the
turkey
turkey.
leg.
Oh wow.
Anyway, so we were in there. So then, when they when it struck 12, all the lights went out. It was completely in the middle of nowhere, dark, right? For like 3 seconds, all the lights went out. Let me see. I gotta go back.
And then they came out
And they came out in this giant. I don't have a picture of it because it's hard to find pictures of it really quickly.
the hot dog.
They came out in this big giant fan boat that was like made out of wood. And then when the fan boat started coming through the crowd with this one light on it, and then it kind of exploded, and then they were in this hot dog flying over the crowd, and you see this guy has a hot dog. They were throwing hot dogs out to people, and it was playing Meat Stick,
Which is one of their songs.
which is one of their songs.
Trey
And-
just did a interview where he said that during that stunt, his seatbelt fell off at the last second, so the whole time he wasn't tethered.
Oh, wow.
Trey always has problems with their stuff, huh?
Yeah. So then they rode that in, and they got up to the stage, and they started playing from basically and it was the biggest fireworks finale I'd ever seen in my. It went on for an entire Down with the Z's with the jam. It was complete fireworks finale the whole time, and then they played from midnight basically to 7:45 in the morning
So they
without
did it.
stopping.
They
yeah,
did it. Oh my god.
it was amazing.
They've
I
done
mean,
some cool stuff, like the Watchtower set. You know what I'm talking about, or the Tower Jam.
Yeah, that's great too.
Or also at Clifford Ball, they did this truck bed jam. I mean, at all their festivals, for those that don't know, they do these entrance gags, like EJ was describing, or these little extra jams that you have to catch. Some of them are secret and stuff
show,
like
that's
that.
what- yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
And it's just one band doing the entire festival, so they don't even hire any other stages, or they don't make any other stages for other bands or opening acts. It's just Fish. So
And one of the funny things they did, though, because they went on a live ABC feed for New Year's Eve. It was the only time they really stopped playing. And it was I can't remember who it was, Dan Rather or something. And he was like, and we're going to the Everglades, and we're checking out Fish's New Year's Eve show, And then they had told us that this was going to happen. They were like, whenever they come on, all we're going to do is yell cheesecake. And so the whole entire crowd was going, cheesecake, cheesecake. And so when they came to it for ABC, it was just cheesecake, cheesecake, cheesecake
no one
all over
knew why. They
ABC
were just
Live.
like, what is that?
And then they just got off of it. So that was pretty
that's
fun.
pretty funny. They play Fish at stadiums. They play Tweezer and stuff.
Yeah.
They play Humphreys McGee at sports games.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is they play Fish, they play, and actually back to what you were asking, Humphreys, I've seen I don't know 30 sometimes.
Yeah, this poster was a show we saw together.
Yeah, we saw them at the Frederick Fairgrounds, and they're a great band too. Just insane energy. They do a lot of great covers. They I don't know, it's just hard to describe, but they're kind of a lot of these jam bands piggybacked off of Fish.
Oh, yeah.
And all of them used to cover Fish, even Humphreys. And it's just cool to see how far that music scene has come. Now it's actually way more popular and not as much counterculture as it was. It's kind of ingrained in the culture. But Humphreys now has been playing for 20 years,
Right.
Fish has been playing for 35 or something like that.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Um,
Since 1986.
6, yeah, because I was born in '85. So
Yeah.
Going to the chat really quick. Austin says the stars look insane down there in Big Cypress.
They do.
That must have been
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
It was amazing.
I saw Langerado at Big Cypress, and actually I won tickets through Humphreys McGee, and we're tying this all together now through MySpace. Okay, there was a contest where all you had to do was embed one of their widgets on your MySpace. A widget was something that was like a moving ad, basically, and I did it, and I feel like I was probably the only person who did it. correctly, maybe, because it was such a weird thing. It was like there were like different steps to enter the contest, and I did them all, and I won. And they sent me to Langerado in 2007, VIP. The only catch was I had to find my way there from the airport, because like we got there and thought there were shuttles, and we couldn't find the shuttle. I mean, I think there was a shuttle. We just couldn't find it. So I hitched a ride with these two people that were going. And they were like, we rented a car. If you just pay us a little bit, we'll take you. And this was before, like, iPhones and shit, you know? Like, I mean, we had, like, I think MapQuest, maybe. But it was, we printed out our directions and went all the way down Alligator Alley. Saw the alligators going out there. And there was a festival. It was more bands. I actually saw Beastie Boys there.
Nice.
Which was really sick.
Yeah, they're sick.
Langerado 2007, like I said. So, and we camped in the VIP section, and one day this big bus pulls up, and like I thought it was gonna run us over, but it didn't. It parked like right next to us, and who gets out of it? Humphreys McGee. So,
Oh, that's way cool. So did you actually meet him?
yeah, so I got to meet him, and we actually like drank a little bit. Like, it was very. And we smoked a little bit with them. It was very brief, and then I got to go backstage and chill with them one time too.
We'll have some one-on-one time.
I mean, I remember Jake probably doesn't remember this, but I talked to Jake like very briefly about Frank Zappa and his effect on metal music. And like, it was fun. And they offered us a ride back to the airport, but they were leaving the day before we were. So it was crazy, man. I mean, I was like, a freshman or a sophomore in college, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I'm out in the middle of the Everglades with like fire ants and like big piles of like cow dung and these Native American police and shit and alligators. And I'm like, I think I'm here to see music, but it seemed like a Fear Factor or something.
Well, they were always like, don't wander off too far into the cypress on the sides.
Yeah.
But
there's
people,
snakes.
There's snakes and alligators, and it was like basically like a forest of cypress, the roots sticking up.
I don't even know what cypress looks like.
It looks like a tree that kind of...
It has that bended...
I don't know what beets are.
Bent knee. Tree knee.
And it has like
bend the knee.
Have you ever been in like a swampy area?
Yeah.
And it has like these roots that come up. They look like...
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
They look like tree dicks.
A little bit, but they're not tree dicks.
There's too many alligators just hiding in the swamp.
Right. But there was like people that set up like lights and everything in there. And yes, Florida Panthers too. They talked about that too, Austin. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of predators out there, man.
On the chat. But yeah, so there's people that set up like cool lights and stuff in there, and there was a DJ and in the middle of these woods, and everybody was like freaking out and running around. It was crazy, man.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. There's one other thing that happened that was pretty cool. I forgot to mention was that there were these guys. There was a team of people that decided to do this. They're dressed in like black suits with skinny black ties, and they had sunglasses on, and they had the handcuffs to their arm was a briefcase that was locked, and they'd run up to you out of the middle of nowhere, and of course everybody's tripping out and having a great time, and they just walk up to you and they just walk by you and they'll go, "It's 2:30." And then they just keep walking and disappear into the crowd. And they were just going around telling the time to people.
There's a lot of pranksters out there in the fish world.
It was pretty crazy. There's a lot of stuff like that. So
My favorite shows that I've ever been to was that. So my favorite band is the Ozric Tentacles, right?
The Ozric Tentacles?
Yeah, they're my
Isn't
favorite.
Just Ozric Tentacles?
Yeah, no, they're just Ozric Tentacles.
It's not like the Led Zeppelin?
No, they're just Ozric Tentacles.
The Led Zeppelins.
And I had the privilege of opening up for them twice.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So pretty much
I'm looking back here. This right back here is the Ozric Tentacles poster right here.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to move that behind me, I think, and replace that one with the Humphreys one.
Thanks.
That's cool.
So, essentially, there was this guy I know named Mike, and he threw this festival called Luna Light Festival, which was a good time. It lasted like 3 or 4 years, and he spent I knew that he was spending a huge amount of money on production, that it was going to be state-of-the-art sound system, great lights, right? And we were playing, and I would talk to him about it, and I was like on an Ozric Tentacles kick, so I pretty much sent him this long email making the case, that he needs to book them. He needs to book them. So he booked them, right, as a headliner. So I remember we were playing on like the third stage or something, and when we were supposed to play, there was this band called Dopapod, which is like a jam band from Massachusetts, I think, or something like that. And they were playing on the main stage, but they were having technical issues. And so the entire festival came to our stage to see us, which was one of the best shows I ever played. And who was in the very front? Edwin and the Osricks jamming out with us. I was freaking out. So
wait, that was the best show you played?
no, because then they played that night later, and I remember like I was extremely prepared to see them, and pretty much like it was this huge crowd, state of the art light show, state of the art sound system. I was literally crying my eyes out and jumping up and down like the whole entire time.
Mike
And-
cries at concerts.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
cried probably at 4 or 5 concerts. I went and saw Macross 82.99 in LA, and I was like bawling my eyes out next to Megan. I
That
was
that
like,
part's a little weird, but
yeah, I was really crying. So were other people near me,
it's
dude.
like future funk. It's like and he's like
I was like,
oh
yeah, it was like that. But my favorite
Wanna know what he was
music
on.
concert I've ever
Yeah.
seen was probably Consider the Source. You guys ever heard of that
was that
band?
at Charlie's?
Yeah.
They played
'Cause
at...
they played at Charlie's once.
No way.
Yeah, Craig Bryn got them to play there once.
Oh my... No, you're thinking of Soften the Glare. Are you thinking of Soften the Glare?
I mean, that is possible, but I thought it was Consider the Source.
Well, yeah. I mean, have you ever seen them live?
No.
I've seen video
Oh
of
my
them.
God, man. They're that band that when you see them, you're like, I need to
Well, I've seen
practice.
live videos of them actually. Yeah, their bassist does a lot of tapping and
Yeah.
like really
Oh, he's super,
intricate stuff.
super good. So I think that they're stupendous.
And that was the 2 best shows.
Yeah, probably. Or
Consider
like, or
the
like,
Source, really? Wow.
Or the
that
Disco
says a lot about them.
Biscuits. Probably like a biscuit show or something.
I also will say over the last in September I went to Resonance Festival, and this band that I don't usually listen to, Papadosio,
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Oh, they
they're-
played a good set?
they played a Daft Punk tribute set.
Oh wow.
And I don't know if it's out there. I think they might have released it on Nugs, but it is so good. Like I was sitting there just like vibing the whole time. So that's definitely up there. And I don't even listen to that band that much. So.
I
They're a
like.
hard-working band.
Yeah.
What about you, Kai?
Sorry to interrupt you, EJ.
No, you. Oh, I think. I haven't been to as many shows as you guys, and I honestly am like wanting to now, just listening to all the cool stories and everything. I went to a Zed show, I would say 2 years ago with Jeremy. Actually,
Is that EDM?
yeah, EDM pop, like melodic pop.
Is
I
that
guess is what you call
Zed's
it.
Dead or is
No,
that a
just-
different thing?
That's a different guy.
Oh,
altogether.
okay, I got you.
But Zed's probably one of like the top 40 guys, I guess, for EDM.
Zed.
But I really enjoyed that show a lot. But there wasn't as like many things going on. You know what I'm saying? Like with the stuff you guys are talking about with, I guess in Cyprus, it was just like a normal EDM show. But it was
Where was it?
DC area.
Was it in Echo Stage?
It might no.
Was it indoor?
It was indoor, but I don't think it was Echo Stage.
That's a great room.
Yeah, because you've told me about that. I don't think it was that like big, but it was big. It just wasn't that big.
Cool. Well, why don't you tell us in the chat, what's your favorite show that you've ever been to? We're so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much again for yet another episode of Galaxy Jams, live from the Starfire Studios. I'm Mike Mahgerefteh. We got Mr. EJ Toudt on the bass, Mr. Kai Tomas on the keyboard, and Mr. Nate Sachs on the guitar. Check us out on all the social media. Stay tuned because we will be here 8 p.m. next Tuesday. See you then.